Welcome back to Classical Coffee. I hope you enjoyed that great video segment yesterday on Copland and the American voice. Now, Copland's music sounds American and it's familiar to a lot of folks, but even though that music is familiar, it was written over 3/4 of a century ago. But a lot of folks still consider it to be new music. And I get asked a lot, why should I listen to new music? Hasn't all the great music already been written? And I have to say, no, not by a long shot. Yesterday we said music can be a mirror of who we are and of what we can become. But if life is always moving and growing and evolving, as we know it is, then music has to grow and evolve as well, and composers have to find new ways of saying things. Now I know there's a lot of comfort in familiarity. We know from repeated listening that there are pieces that never fail to be meaningful for us, to move us. And we need that music in our lives, especially when the pace of change in the world is sometimes so accelerated. But if we only listen to that music over and over, I think we risk becoming static and stale, and we begin to wither. New experiences in music enlivens the gene pool, if you will. It refreshes us and gives us something new to chew on. So we need repeated listening to unfamiliar music as well, to new music. Now, American composer Joan Tower has observed that when a living composer has to be put up side by side with Beethoven, for example, in a concert, that both of those composers can benefit from the experience. Most listeners would never think of criticizing Beethoven. Beethoven's Beethoven, up there on a pedestal, almost a god. Nobody criticizes Beethoven, right? Well, actually, yes, they did. But nowadays we seem to be a little afraid to. Tower says that when we hear Beethoven, we know what to expect. But when we hear her music, or Jennifer Higdon's, or Michael Dougherty's, we probably don't know what to expect. But it's in that unexpectedness that lies the great benefit and the exhilaration of new experiences in music. New experiences can open new worlds for us, give us a new sense of who we are, just as Copland did for his audiences during the Depression. Tower likes it when audiences listen to her music. They get to have opinions. They can like it or not like it. They get involved in her music. They can ask, hey, why did you do this and didn't do that? And it is that critical listening that can open the doors to a new way of hearing old music as well, like Beethoven's. Yes, we do get to have opinions about Beethoven or Mozart. We can listen critically, maybe even develop new insights into familiar works we've known for so long. Yesterday I said Copland's Symphony No. 3 was considered by many to be the great American symphony. It was premiered in 1946 when America had just emerged from World War II and the Great Depression, and can be seen as a summation of what we learned during that time, seen through the eyes and ears of a composer who uniquely shaped our understanding of what it means to be American. The symphony is based on his Fanfare for a Common Man. Now, how did Copland weave this amazing and uplifting 40-minute masterpiece from so small an idea? Well, he used the same techniques that Beethoven and other composers have used, a process of variation and transformation of musical ideas, bending them into new shapes, taking them apart, putting them together in new and fresh ways. It's a little bit like an experience I'm sure we've all had at some point of having a conversation, maybe over dinner, where we just become so engrossed in our topic. We follow lines of thought, exploring all possible aspects and dimensions of an idea, twisting that idea, maybe even bending it out of shape just to see what it looks like. That's very much what Copland did in his symphony. Copland takes those simple sounds of the fanfare and weaves hints and fragments of them into all the musical themes of the work, suffusing the work with an underlayer of optimism and hope, of contemplation and of rejoicing. The open sonorities of the first movement recall the wide open spaces of America. The rousing dance-like second movement, it harks us back to the sounds of his great ballet score, Appalachian Spring, and speaks to the inherent optimism he found in Americans. The third movement is a contemplation of the deep spirituality that I think Copland found in the common people of America. And the tender opening of the fourth movement, where he states that fanfare clearly for the first time in the work in flutes and clarinets, not trumpets and trombones, echoes the beauty and kindness he found in us all. This is great music. It's meaningful and moving music. Yes, it is most likely unfamiliar music as well. But when you hear it, I think you will recognize yourself in here. Enjoy it. I'll see you tomorrow.